time for the First Federal program on WROI Giant FM and streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
It is a Friday morning and it's dark out and it's cold, which means Evan's in the studio
That's right.
for the First Federal program. Good morning, Evan.
Hey, good morning. That's right. You saying I just come out when it gets creepy outside in the morning?
No. You bring the cold weather.
So. Oh, right. Winter season. Ooh, you got your fleece on. That's good.
Yeah. It's a little chillier than I like, so the winter coat's on order.
I finally put the shorts and stuff away. I don't think we're going to get one of those rebound weekends anymore.
No, unless you're Randy. He's still good. He says snow hasn't fallen yet, so shorts stay on.
Well, I move into jeans and long sleeves about this time of year.
I don't wear shorts, so.
Ever. Okay.
Ever.
Hey, good. There's a solution. Well, we're looking at maybe high 50s this weekend.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm thinking fire pit or grill out, like tailgate type weather.
Yeah.
Those are all good things.
It's great weather for that.
Is Purdue playing at home, Tanner?
Yeah, night game tomorrow night.
Oh, a night game.
Yeah.
That's a
A
bump.
little chilly.
That's
That'll be a little chilly.
That's a blanket type situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go tailgate in Cleveland tomorrow. No, I'm not.
You should. You deserve to.
No, I'll tailgate outside and then go in and watch it in the safety of my own home.
Well, I credit the planners from the Chamber and the Blacktop Cruisers for picking a wonderful weekend again for the chili cook-off. That was tremendous.
Yeah, I was a little nervous because last year, it was like 82 degrees during it.
That's right.
So I was afraid we were going to get that again this year, but it turned out to be a beautiful day for it.
It was a good chili eating day, didn't you think?
It was.
That always feels good. And man, you get a little American pride. You walk around some of those older cars. That's a good feeling.
Yes.
It's kind of a strange, emotional thing as you're walking
Yeah.
through these classic cars that people take such great care of. And
Yep.
we had a great time. That's a great local event.
Oh, yeah.
Credit to all of the folks that put in the man hours to make that happen for the community. That's just a tremendous gift.
Yes.
Okay. Have you found the pot-bellied pig that's on the loose? I saw the most wanted sign for that.
No, I have not.
All right. Well, keep your eyes peeled. I don't think it's been identified and captured yet.
All right.
That dude's probably eating well out there, don't you
I
think?
would think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a great show today and some excellent guests. We're going to be talking about something fairly brand new to our community, if you really think about it, and that's got some beautiful new pickleball courts.
Yes.
Over by the city pool that have been put up, and it's a fantastic location for those because you got plenty of space and people are already going out there for the pool, so everyone's getting to see them. But if you're not driving out that way, you might miss those. So I recommend heading out there and checking them out. They're beautiful. So we're going to find out a little bit more about those pickleball courts and how that came to be, and also what in the world is pickleball. I asked Tanner and he didn't know, so if my sports guy doesn't know, we need to get down to the experts and get this figured out
I'm
this morning.
familiar with how it's played, but not so much the rules. I've never played myself, so
Okay.
I
I've
have no
spectated.
clue. I have no clue what it is.
Okay, so we'll have some real genuine questions this morning, won't we?
Yes.
All right, well, we got the Rochester Pickleball Group, that's what I'm calling them, coming to tell us a little bit about that. I'm really excited about it. And our trivia question.
Pickleball related, Paul.
If he knows I know nothing about pickleball, and that's why he did this.
That's why we crafted this entire show, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, in what state was pickleball invented?
Okay.
Washington, right here in Indiana, Oregon, or our neighbors, Ohio.
All right.
Ohio's known for a lot of things.
They are.
Yeah. Some good teams over there.
Yeah.
He's
I was
just,
thinking more of airplanes, but yeah.
Airplanes, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that too.
Hey, so tell us about some other sports before we get into pickleball, Tanner.
it's a loaded slate tonight for the high school football. It's the last week of the regular season. Can you believe it?
Wow.
We're here already. It kind of flies by.
It always goes so fast. I don't know if the weather changing has something to do with that, but it just seems like
Week 1 and now it's week 9.
yes.
Sectional matchups were announced last week, So everybody knows who they're going to be facing next week, where they're going to be traveling to, etc. But tonight we got some big matchups in TRC tonight.
We do.
Rochester takes their 7-1 record on the road down to McConaughey, who's 6-2. That's going to be a pretty good game. Pre-game starts same time as normal.
6:40-ish.
One of these weeks you're going to throw me off. Like, no, actually, should change it for 5 minutes. So.
Well, we did that earlier this year because Knox had that time difference, so we split it in half.
So yeah, I like to check just to make sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So that should be a good one. Tippecanoe Valley's looking to end the regular season with an undefeated record. They're 8-0. They travel to Southwood, who's 6-2. That should be another good matchup. Caston, I need to apologize to Caston. I said they got their first victory of the year last week. I was wrong. I misread that. So they're still looking for their first victory. They're 0-8. They play at Knox tonight, who's 5-3. In Winnemax 2-6. They are also on the road at Triton, who's 5-3. So all the local teams on the road tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be a little extra challenge.
Yeah.
I like tough matchups at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's good.
Getting ready for the postseason.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll report next week how those teams finish their seasons and see if they can get some success going in the postseason.
We wish them all luck.
Yes.
Yeah.
College football, we're at the halfway point. Once again, can't believe we're already at the halfway point, but here we are for at least most teams. Six games through, at least 6 to go. Maybe some have some postseason conditions in front of them.
Anybody looking for the bye week to come sooner than later?
I think there are some teams. I think everybody's starting to get a little banged up.
Yeah.
That's kind of happens this time of year. You just hope it's not in a critical position that you don't have a lot of depth, or you're gonna take a big drop off on your backups.
Offensive line, quarterback.
Exactly. That's the thing about Purdue. They started your 8 linemen, offensive linemen. They felt comfortable with rotation. They're down to 6.
Yep.
It's like, oh boy, we're getting up the razor edge
Yeah.
to where we got to throw a true freshman out in the mix and watch them grow. But speaking of Purdue, they had a win last week at Maryland. So back-to-back road wins for them.
That's a good
Big
win.
Ten. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often for Purdue to get back-to-back road Big Ten wins. So then now they're 4-2. They host Nebraska tomorrow night, who's 3-3, coming off 2 wins in a row themselves over Indiana and Rutgers. Purdue's a 14-point favorite tonight.
Does that scare you?
Yes, that's
Okay.
large. This game is a night game. It's 7:30 tomorrow night. It's on the Big Ten Network.
I think Nebraska is actually showing something, or they just played kind of the bottom of the barrel.
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
I mean, the quarterback's dangerous. He throws a good deep ball. I think they're a little looser, more free now.
I bet.
They know Joseph's not going to be their head coach, most likely, going forward after the season, but probably some pressure's off a little bit. You know, you gotta beat who you play. So even though they beat Indiana and Rutgers, who are kind of looked at maybe as towards the bottom of the East right now, Big Ten East, they still got to feel good about themselves getting 2 wins. So.
Yeah. It had been a while.
Yes. Speaking of Indiana, they're now 3-3. They lost to Michigan. Hung in there for a while though, and then Michigan kind of woke up. They do that to a lot of teams.
Yeah, that's typical for Indiana against Michigan
Yeah.
too. For
Hang
some
in there
reason
for a little bit, and then it
they
kinda-
can look good for a half against them, and then that's the depth versus not depth.
They host Maryland, who has a 4-2 record tomorrow. Maryland's a 12-point favorite. That game's at 3:30 at ESPN2. Then Notre Dame picked up a big win out in Vegas last week over a ranked BYU team. Proved their record to 3-2. They host Stanford tomorrow night. I don't have their record written down. It's not good, I can tell you that.
Right. I remember seeing earlier they haven't done well.
That game's at 7:30 on NBC. Notre Dame's a 17-point favorite. Stanford, just a handful of years ago, was one of the top programs in the country, and David Shaw, their head coach, might have wanted to take, looking back on it, one of those NFL jobs. He could have. I don't think it's going to end well for him, but we'll see. That's a tough job, though. Their academics are so high. It's one of those.
It's hard to stay on top
Yes,
in
it's hard
those places.
Yeah, they got to get certain kind of athletes.
You can ride a wave, but it's hard to keep it going, I think.
NFL, the Bears were in action last night.
All right.
Evan and I were
Wait.
talking before the show. Broncos last week, Bears this week. Our teams did not fare well on Thursday night.
No.
We didn't put a good product on the field, either the Colts last week or the Commanders last night.
Yeah.
Commanders were victorious 12-7. They were up 3-0 at half. Bears took the lead after the third quarter going into 4-7-3, and then the Commanders outscored them 9-0 in the fourth.
Critical fumble on a rookie trying to catch a punt.
Yep.
On the 5-yard line. So
Just let it go.
Commanders just had a couple plays to bang it in and take
Yep.
the lead, and that's really the game.
Yep. So.
So
The learning, it's hard to watch the learning curve.
It is. I don't think Bears fans had high expectations coming into this
No.
year, anyways.
We
But
didn't.
it's still not fun when you're 6 weeks into the season and it seems feels like it's over. And that's how I'm feeling as a Bronco fan 5 weeks into their season. So, but we'll see. Maybe they'll
don't play on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's
right.
a good moral to the story.
Thursday night product's not good. It's not good.
That short week just must be tough, you know.
Oh, it's so tough to recover.
And NFL week is kind of this routine
Yep.
thing, and
Yep.
Monday night even throws it off a little when
Right.
you play there, but
Right.
Thursday, what do you do with that?
Yeah. It's
It'll be interesting to see how these teams that play on Thursday do a couple weeks after when they have the longer week off.
Right.
Maybe that's good for you.
yeah. Monday night, Broncos. I feel bad for America. They're on primetime TV again. They're at LA this time, so must win for them. I'm declared a must win.
I think they do win.
I hope so. And the Colts were back in the winner's circle last week with a record of 2-1 now. They host the Jaguars.
Their nemesis.
Their nemesis, who got the better of them the last 2 times. Jaguars are 2-3. Colts are 2-point favorites. That game's at 1 o'clock Sunday on CBS. Also, you can catch that live right here on WRY.
Yep. We'll start the coverage at noon and it'll go till 6 o'clock.
And lastly, for our sports report today, MLB playoffs update. We got some series updates. Houston Astros are up 2-0 on the Seattle Mariners. Probably would be finishing them off over the weekend, I would think. Then they'll wait the winner of the New York Yankees and the Cleveland Guardians. Yankees are currently up 1-0 in the series. Game 2 yesterday was postponed due to rain. So they are playing Game 2 today at 1 o'clock. So good luck, Paul.
I've already determined that we lose this game. That's it.
All right.
We'll try
I'm
again.
glad you guys are talking and being civil this morning.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I
that.
wish them good luck. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Good luck to the Yankees.
In the National League, both series are tied. Atlanta and Philadelphia, 1 game apiece. LA Dodgers and San Diego, 1 game apiece. So we'll know
Anything can happen.
the NLCS and ALCS soon. So,
I like the playoffs because every pitch matters.
It does.
Yes.
It's a lot of
a
lot of tension.
whole different atmosphere than regular season. So that's what's fun about it.
Yeah.
Got some tidbits here this morning. On this day in 1978, the first TV movie from a TV series was released. That was Gilligan's Island, Rescue from Gilligan's Island.
Boy, they took that format and ran with it.
They
didn't
did.
Here-
Yes, they did. Many good ones. Some not so good, some good. So.
Yeah.
On this day in 1979, a guy named Wayne Gretzky scored his first NHL goal.
Wow.
He would go to score many more.
And a handful more.
When you get the nickname the Great One,
Yeah.
you did
Such
something
a-
pretty good to deserve
That is such a simple but distinguished nickname.
Right.
I've always loved that.
And you know, a lot of sports, they'll debate who's the greatest. Hockey, there's not much
No.
debate. I mean, look
no.
at the statistical categories, and he was on some winning teams. So, on this day in 2003, the Steve Bartman incident happened.
Oh gosh.
Cubs Marlins. Can you believe it's been that many years already?
That was such a tragedy. I'm just saying.
In the 8th inning, Cubs were up. Foul ball. Moises Alou goes to try to catch it. Steve Bartman, a fan, tries to catch the ball, which, to his credit, there was a lot of people around him trying to do the same thing.
Yes, there were. You can see it in the photo.
So Moises doesn't catch it. Marlins go to score 8 runs, win Game 6, and then go on to win Game 7
That's horrible.
and win the series. And the Cubs were so-called still cursed until 2016. So. And on this day, 2007, this is probably one of Paul's favorite shows. Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered on E!
Oh, ouch.
And I
Ouch.
think, I don't know if it's still going. If not, there's a spin-off.
That's a long time.
I need to ask my girlfriend. She watches that stuff. I don't. So
I saw
don't
a
know.
commercial that apparently they're coming back on a different
Now,
format with a different name.
They made a lot of money from
Yeah,
it. So.
just people being interested in what
Yep.
they're talking about. I don't know.
Reality TV.
Yep.
That was kind of the boom of it, and it's still going strong today.
Crazy.
We got some national days and some world days. Today's National Dessert Day. What's your favorite dessert, Paul?
Chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
That's a good one.
That is good.
Huh?
I started thinking about pecan pie around this time of year.
It's good.
It's so rich, I can do one slice for the season, but it's a good
It's
slice.
a good slice. I like dessert a lot. I think a good peanut brownies, though.
Yeah. Do you like to do like a sundae style with vanilla and chocolate or fudge on it?
Absolutely. Yeah,
He's
load it
not
up.
complaining.
It's also National Boss Day. this guy over here to my left.
Yeah, my boss is here today too. Don't worry.
World Egg Day.
Oh, I like eggs.
Vet Nurse Day. So
That's
always,
good.
yeah.
I like that.
World Standards Day.
English or metric?
And Be Bold and Be Free Day.
Okay.
All right, some interesting.
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, like always.
It's good. All right. Well, thanks, Tanner. I appreciate that.
So,
That was fun. It's nice to have a lot going on this time of year.
yeah, well, nice to have a lot to talk about.
Okay, well, we got a couple events coming up, not this weekend, but here just shortly. First one I wanted to talk about was the Rochester Kiwanis Turkey Dinner. Fall
That
also
time of
makes
year,
me
isn't it?
start thinking about that.
My
So-
favorite dinner.
That's good. That's good.
Well, if you don't know a Rochester Kiwanis Club member to get tickets, two things. You can get them at the door,
Yes.
or you can get them from me.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So there's your plug. It's always what, the first Monday in November, I think.
Yeah.
Right before election
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
voting the
Yeah.
next morning, next
Yep.
day.
Yep.
So kind of fun. I like this fall one a lot. I'm on the turkey pulling squad.
Mm.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew
You guys
that.
were able to get turkeys?
I hope so.
Okay.
I just pull them. I don't
Oh,
acquire them,
yeah.
so I hope that job's done. But I have a lot of confidence in the team.
All right.
We usually pull this off really well. So hopefully everybody can come and kind of have a community meal together. It's
Always good
really fun. And the Rochester Kiwanis Club uses these fundraisers for student scholarships. So that's the primary thing that they do, and I think that's a cool cause for what they do with the funds. Okay, another thing, Civic Players of Logansport are presenting a play coming up October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. All's Well in Roswell, isn't it? That's the title, Paul.
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay. That's at the McHale Performing Arts Center, really nice facility, and First Federal's own Heather Cavins and her husband Michael are both part of the cast, so we're wishing they break a leg. Is that what you say?
That's
Yes?
technically
Okay.
the term,
It's
yeah.
hard to say that about somebody
I
because
know.
I'm a real caring person, but that is the caring way to say it
Yes.
in theater. So.
Yes.
Okay, money news is still not very exciting. So,
No.
I don't even really want to talk about
No.
it. So,
I'm
hang in there,
I'm
folks.
right there with you.
Yeah, hang in there. There's a lot of stuff nobody can control
Yep.
between anyone in this building. So,
Yeah.
stay the course. Everything works out.
Ride the wave.
Good times and bad. Nothing's guaranteed. We're all here for each other.
Yep.
Well
Okay.
said.
Thank you. Thinking about First Federal. If you have some extra money, you can put it in our 15-month CD special, which is 1.76 annual percentage yield. And we're offering that right now. We also, our free gift, what's the free gift, Tanner, for this
It's the
cycle?
Arctic Zone Bowls. It's a thermal bowl.
Ooh, my kids
Good for
pack
soup.
lunch a lot, so you can,
Still forgot it.
you can, Paul wants to see, Paul wants to hold it.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking about referring someone.
Well, he's good at that. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get another
Try.
freebie.
Yeah.
So this is for any checking accounts open.
Yep.
You open it or you refer someone to open it and you can check this bowl.
And you can do that online now too. Open up a checking
Is that
account.
pretty easy?
Very quick and easy.
Okay.
Handful of minutes.
Okay.
Click here, click there.
I like convenience. So
Yep.
that's what I'm
You
looking
can do it
for.
right from your couch. Can't come into the bank for whatever
Well, I
reason.
should have done that last night while
You
the
don't want
Bears
to?
were on instead,
Yeah.
huh?
Yes, when your team's losing, just open an account with First online.
I like this.
Evan and I would open a lot of accounts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't worry, I
We
would too.
deleted. I know. It's hard to spread it out that thin. Okay, also don't forget about commercial lending for businesses. Looking to buy some commercial property or refinance. We're really good at that. Contact Lindy Breeden. Also Mark Blubar, Brian Bell, or here's a plug, one of our secret guests this morning, Wendy Pfeiffer, our financial services department team. They can help you plan for retirement. A lot of people thinking about that right now.
Yep.
Yeah. I know a guy.
Even if you aren't near retirement, maybe you've switched jobs and you have some retirement money left at a previous employer. They can help you have a good plan for that too. And also, just give you some good advice. What are you doing with your 401k? Does that make sense for you? So, they love what they do and they do a wonderful job. Like us on Facebook, Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We got a YouTube channel you can check out. Lots of information. We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We're really proud of that. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best.
And you guys are one. Well,
We don't like to have the show without quoting Dick Belcher.
Yep.
So that was his philosophy, and we still love that.
yeah.
Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender, and our NMLS number for the bank is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
Excellent. Okay, we've got a fun little conversation to have here. We have the Rochester Pickleballers, and that's Scott and Susie Kistler and Wendy Pfeiffer. Includes some other people, but this is who we could get to come talk about this. They're really excited, and let's get this adjusted for you. Pickleball. What is pickleball? Sounds like a lunch item combined with a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could call it that a little bit. I mean, it's a cross between tennis and I guess a little bit like badminton and ping pong. So it's a smaller court than a tennis court, but a lot of the rules are kind of like tennis. So it's a lot of fun, and you use a smaller paddle than a racket, and you use a wiffle ball.
Okay, is it the same kind of thing where you can play against one opponent, or you can do doubles?
Yes, you can do
Similar
singles or doubles. It's a lot of fun with doubles. More action going on. Singles, I mean, younger people kind of like that because move around a lot more, but it's you can do it either way.
Okay, you mentioned younger people, and we're talking to Scott Kistler right now. So this may be for all ages. Are you seeing that? Is that something that is one of the benefits?
We are seeing quite a few kids doing it. I'm not sure their ages, but we've seen some pretty young kids, probably from 10 up, or maybe even a little bit younger than that. But we've seen everybody out there at different ages, and even up to some of the older people that are playing.
So let me ask, is this the kind of sport where my 12-year-old could play you and maybe beat you?
Probably would be.
Okay, I like those kind of sports. That means it's for everybody, don't you think, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe Paul and I could get out there and we might have a chance.
Oh, definitely. Anybody can get out there and play. It's a wonderful sport. It's not like tennis where there's so much running and everything, but it's because the court is a lot smaller, so you don't have that larger space to run in.
Okay, so thinking about the court itself, I've seen some different lines on tennis courts before, but you're right, it's not the same lines. They're within the boundaries. So it seemed like that's how this kind of gets started, and then maybe something comes along where you actually build a real pickleball court. So tell us some of the pros and cons of that, because maybe some people are thinking, well, just use the tennis court for this.
Yeah, and you do see that on tennis courts, that the lines that are inside there. The only problem is that the net height. For pickleball, it's about 2 inches shorter than a regular tennis net. So
okay. So you got an extra degree of difficulty if you're using the tennis net, trying to get that
correct.
ball
Yes.
whipped over there.
Right.
Okay. So Susie, step up to the mic.
Sure.
Susie Kistler here. Tell us how pickleball kind of started becoming a thing here in Fulton County, because it's still really, really new.
Well, I think it happened overnight because a friend of ours, Dean Johnson, had come home from Florida and asked Scott to come over and check it out on his court. He actually put one in his driveway.
Oh, that's
within
creative.
days of coming home from Florida. And Scott said, "Hey, you need to come and look at this." And we just never looked back after that. And this was right before COVID had hit, and so it was right at 2020. And right then, we went full force. We had found a group in Winnemac that had indoor courts. So we were over there as much as we possibly could, but we knew that it needed to be here because we knew that it would impact our community in such a powerful way. And we believe that it has already. I mean, the courts have only been there for, what, have they been?
A few months?
I think
or-
they've been in place for a couple of months.
Okay.
But they are always busy. Now, I wouldn't say always, but they are. We've
Widely
had full
used.
courts, yes, widely used. So, and we have people asking us constantly about how to play, what is this about, and can anybody play? I would like to play, So we have a lot of positive feedback from it, and I think it's going to continue to grow. So.
Okay. Wendy Pfeiffer, step on up. Tell us how you got interested in pickleball.
So, actually, Susie was part of the original group that taught me how to play, and that was just a little bit over a year ago. And I really didn't know much about it prior to them asking me to play, but it very, very quickly, and I think most people who play would agree with this, becomes something that you aren't sure you care about to something that you really want to play a lot.
That's neat.
So it's a pretty quick transition from nothing to something.
That's great.
I think that's almost universal.
Maybe that's why it catches on so fast.
Yes.
And it goes from what we were saying earlier.
And
It wasn't really a thing here, and now all of a sudden, bang.
Yes.
It's just like
It's a very manageable game for a lot of different levels. You can kind of make it what you want it to be. I mean, if you just want to go out a couple times a month and hit the ball around, you can do that. Or there are a lot of really fine details to the game that you can practice and work on and really become competitive. So there are different styles of the game. There's a power game, there's a soft game, there's just a lot of different ways to play it that makes it fun for a lot of different people. My dad's 82 and he plays.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
So you can go out there and he can whip you.
Yeah. Yeah, he does that in tennis too. So. And a tennis background definitely makes the transition a little bit easier.
I was going to ask that.
Pickleball, yeah, just the familiarity with hitting a ball with some sort of
hand-eye
apparatus, a
coordination,
racket, paddle, whatever it may be. So yeah.
Okay, I was really into ping pong, so maybe that would be a good entry point.
Definitely.
Into that. Okay. We're speaking with some Rochester pickleballers, and they've been really influential in helping us get a new amenity in our community, and that's Scott and Susie Kistler Wendy Pfeiffer joining us this morning. So we mentioned, you mentioned that you used to travel out of town 30 miles or so to play. I mean, this is really something if you're doing that. But we needed something here in our community. So talk about the evolution of how things have gone from no pickleball and no one knows what it is to now we have actual standalone pickleball courts that are being used. Scott, you want to handle that one?
Sure, yeah. I mean, since going over to Winnipeg, they had a church over there that we would play indoors in the wintertime because that's when we started. But they also had outdoor courts. They took a tennis court that had 2 or 3 courts in it, and they turned that into pickleball courts over there.
Okay.
So we've been over there, we played, and so this was something that we thought Rochester could do, and so we had a group, Susie and I and a couple other people that kind of got together and kind of brainstormed. I went through the Leadership Academy thing, so it got me involved with a bunch of things with the community, with the Community Foundation and FedCo and everything.
Maybe some potential supporters.
Yes, and so I went and talked to them, to throw this idea out there, and Susie and I, we went there and talked with Jay and Brian, and just got some ideas on how to get things started because we didn't know what to do, where to go, and they gave us some ideas, and then we started going to the Parks Board meetings and everything, and bringing up the idea there. And so that's kind of how it got kicked off.
So Scott, was this an actual Leadership Academy project, or did that just kind of help you get the framework of how to go about a project?
It gave me the framework. Actually, I was in Leadership Academy with Tanner.
Oh, great.
And so we had a different project, and so but this gave me the foundation of how to get things going on it.
That's a great little plug for Leadership Academy and getting more familiar with all the different influential bodies that can be helpful for any good idea. So I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah, it was very helpful.
Okay, so before we had courts, were there any places in Rochester that you could play pickleball?
There was one place at the time, and that was at Fansler Field, but it was on a tennis court.
Okay.
So you have the height of the tennis court and the painted lines in the middle.
Okay. And then how'd you go about finding a good spot to put these courts in? It was a
process.
Okay.
We working with the Parks Board. We went to many locations. We drove around with them to. We wanted to have it at the city park, and it was just, we did either have to cut down trees and things like that, which
Right.
we didn't want to mess with any of that kind of.
The existing things.
Yes. So this came up about where it's at now, over by the city pool. They had this parking lot that was there and everything, so, and it wasn't being utilized. So we decided it was kind of open and everything, and it was, and has room to grow for another set of courts if we want.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I asked that because, you know, it's hard to get something started, especially if it's new. You know, but maybe that speaks to how quickly the popularity is growing, that, you know, if you go to something, you know, maybe some of us haven't really heard of, to all of a sudden we're building some infrastructure. That's really impressive. That's not something that really you hear about too often until there's like very widespread support constantly asking for something. So I wanted to just recognize the work and communication that you guys did to get this in place so quickly. That was really impressive.
Yeah, we were hoping that it would go this fast, but we weren't expecting it to go this fast. But we were glad that it got here as fast as it did.
Okay, talk to us. Do you have any other key partners that were part of this that you want to recognize? Susie, why don't you handle this?
Okay. Well, we had people that were excited about it with us right off the bat, you being one of them, and we appreciate your support and your encouragement along the way, you and your family. We had some contributors such as First Federal Bank and RTC, the Gottschalk family. We had Beacon Bank and the Affordable Hearing Store of Rochester. We had the Fulton County Community Foundation and the Women's Giving Circle and REMC. And those were our major contributors. There were, lots of others that did what they could, and we appreciate it. It wouldn't be here without the contributions and the encouragement to get it done. But the Community Foundation, first and foremost, was unbelievably supportive, helpful, and they were our biggest helper, really. They were on our side from the beginning.
That's
so,
great.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great list of many different groups and individuals that can help get a project done. I appreciate you recognizing them.
Right, yeah.
So tell us about, you got an event coming up. We want to make sure we talk about that. Susie.
Okay, well tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the new courts there by the pool, we're having the grand opening. We're just going to be there for just to demonstrate, to show anybody how easy and fun it is. It's for families. It's for anybody that's interested. If you already play, please come out. If you're an experienced player, please come out and demonstrate your skills.
Might be an opportunity for a game out there.
There will be lots of opportunities, and we'll have everything furnished there. So we'll have the paddles and the balls and
Oh, that's fantastic.
a few light refreshments too. So
So if we
we're
want to
excited about it.
get an idea on how it works, we should come and participate
Yes.
tomorrow at 10.
Yes. Might be a little chilly, wear a hat, but it'll be worth it because I know it's a life-changing hobby.
Well, we had a good testimonial this morning about how quickly it can grab your heart. So
It does, yeah.
thank you guys so much for coming on to share a little bit deeper about this project and what you've accomplished. And congratulations on what you've accomplished, adding something really fun and useful to our community.
Well, thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank
Thank you for having us on.
Absolutely. Okay, we have our trivia question. In what state was pickleball invented? Washington, Indiana, Oregon, or Ohio? Paul, you get first crack.
When you read this earlier, Susie kind of said an answer, so I'm going to go with that and go Washington.
That's correct. It's traveled all the way to the Midwest. See, that's a good thing.
I wouldn't have guessed that if it wasn't for
No.
her, so I owe her for that.
We talked about how new this sport was. It was invented in 1965.
So it has gotten some wide support.
That's right. All right, well, let's close our show. This has been a great show. Appreciate everybody's contributions with some words of wisdom from Blaise Pascal, a French philosopher. I read a lot of French philosophy in my spare time. Kind words do not cost much, yet they accomplish much.
I like those words of wisdom. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We'll see you guys again next week.
Okay.